Welcome back to Inverted Aviators RC. Today we are super excited to help announce the brand new, fully 3D printable RC aircraft from our friends over at Craycle. This is the Craycle Soar. If you've been around our channel for a little while, you know that we've flown quite a few RC planes, mostly foamies from E-flite, but we've also dabbled in the 3D printed planes as well, like the Craycle Stick and Cub. And honestly, this new one really hits the sweet spot. The Craycle Soar is a purpose-built glider, designed from the ground up to be fully 3D printable, easy to assemble, affordable to build, and incredibly smooth in the air. And the best part is that you don't need any exotic materials, carbon rods, or complicated setups to get it flying really well. Today I want to walk you through how easy this thing is to print and build, why the design choices actually matter, the FPV and the digital options, and what it actually feels like to fly it in the air. At its core, the Craycle Soar is a 1200mm wingspan glider with a long, efficient wing and a clean fuselage layout, and it uses a carefully chosen airfoil designed specifically for soaring. What's really cool here is that this was not just a stretched version of the Craycle Stick, which we've also featured on this channel. According to Craycle, this started as a simple idea. What if they made a longer wing version of the stick? But once they went down that path, it turned into a full glider redesign. That redesign included a new airfoil, an extended fuselage, proper flaps, which is really nice, I'm a big fan of flaps, a rebalanced center of gravity, and a lot of real-world testing. This isn't theoretical performance about a plane they just made. They've flown this thing in thermals and in slope soaring, and it really shows in how the plane behaves in the air. Now I know what some of you are already thinking. Cool plane, but a 3D printed build is just a pain. And honestly, that used to be true. But Craycle did something really smart here. The entire build is designed to be as close to Lego simple as possible. Just a little CA glue is needed, and this thing snaps right together. Every part keys into the next and aligns itself naturally and comes off the print bed ready to assemble. I printed mine using the normal PLA, nothing fancy at all, just grain green straight out of the spool. I wanted to kind of match the Craycle Cub that I printed earlier, and I thought it looked pretty sweet flying in the air. Craycle also provides 3MF project files instead of the pre-sliced G-code, which means you can slice properly for your exact specific printer and filament. I printed with the Bambu Labs P1S and just regular Bambu Lab PLA filament, and it prints awesome. Really smooth, really easy, and no extra setup outside of those 3MF files. They recommend a 0.4mm line width everywhere, no supports, a classic wall generator, and fairly aggressive print speeds, and yes, this thing prints fast. And if you want more information, Craycle provides a PDF how-to guide for every single plane they make, so once you buy the plane, look at that how-to guide and you can set up everything really easily, and thankfully, it is pretty simple. I actually had to build this plane before Craycle sent out the instructions, and I built it twice, no instructions, and it still came out really well, no issues at all. Now here's where I got curious. Craycle says very clearly you do not need lightweight PLA for this plane. The expected flying weight with a normal PLA is around 490 grams, including all of the electronics, the battery, everything. But I wanted to see what would happen if I printed using lightweight PLA, a lightweight Aero PLA from Bambu Labs to be specific, but I was going to use the same files and the same setup. The resulting plane weight with the lightweight PLA is just under 390 grams, 100 grams off. It's a huge reduction. Does it need it? No, but does it glide even better with it? Absolutely. If you're looking for a longer float, better thermaling, and a slower, more graceful flight characteristics, lightweight PLA is a really fun option to experiment with, but again, you do not need it. The normal 490 gram Craycle Soar performs really nicely, and it's super nice to not have to go out and buy the more expensive Aero PLA. Thankfully, it still works really, really well with just normal PLA. The assembly is honestly one of my favorite parts of this build. The fuselage is broken into 6 main sections, they all key together perfectly. You dry fit everything first and then run a thin bead of CA glue along the seams, spray a little activator, wipe it. It fits together so nice. The same process applies to the tail, and the hinges are a TPU style hinge, so you can print those too as long as you get a nice little TPU, and they're nice rubbery and they move very nicely. The manual does a great job reminding you that you need just a tiny bit of glue and make sure nothing binds, and always do a little test movement before the final assembly. But thankfully, Craycle does a great job explaining how to use these TPU hinges, and they're used throughout not only the Craycle Soar, but all of their planes use these TPU hinges, so it's really nice and really fun to just have a single set of hinge that you don't need to buy. The attention to detail really shows that this was designed by people who actually build and fly planes, and these wings are built in sections, glued together and reinforced at the center. One detail I really like is how the wing actually mounts onto the fuselage. For everyday flying, the wing mounts with a single bolt down the middle. But if you're more interested in more aggressive slope soaring with high energy passes, or you just want a little bit of extra security, there are optional screws you can put in the back to lock everything down. Now that's some thoughtful design. The electronics are refreshingly simple on this plane. They recommend a 2204 or a 2206 motor, a 10 to 30 amp ESC, and a 2 to 4 cell battery with 6 small micro servos. They specify small and micro servos because you can cut down a lot of weight. Instead of using 9-gram servos, cut it to like a 4 or a 2-gram servo, and this thing still really flies nicely. Everything fits cleanly inside the fuselage with plenty of room for a receiver, a GPS, or even a flight controller if you want one, which they do have information of how to set up and use iNav, or more of that fun fancy stuff that you can add to all your planes. The center of gravity is thankfully clearly marked right underneath the wing, which I always appreciate because I have a little bit of a history about not worrying about the CG and really wrecking some planes. So Craycle, great job at doing that. Craycle also provides beginner radio rates, pro rates, and specific flap angles for thermals, reflex, as well as landing. So whether you're brand new to gliders or very experienced, Craycle's got you covered. Now, if you like FPV, like we clearly do with all of our planes, this is where the Soar gets really cool. Craycle designed a modular FPV hatch that mounts externally right to the top of the fuselage. It supports analog systems like the DJI O3 and O4 air unit, and both single and dual antenna setups. The camera can be slid forwards and backwards to fine-tune your view and whatever works for you. Personally, I like to fly a lot analog, especially with those little Wolfwhoop WTO3 cameras, so I just routed my camera through the canopy through a little hole that I made. No drama, no weird hacks, and it just worked really nicely. This thing might be a glider, but it can still handle a little bit of air unit, a little bit of FPV, and still fly really nicely. And if you want a clean glide view, use a folding propeller just like Craycle recommends, because once you cut the motor, it makes the prop fold in and disappear almost instantly, and it makes for some really nice glider FPV. Now in the air, the Craycle Soar is exactly what you want a glider to be. It's stable, predictable, smooth, and incredibly floaty. It thermals beautifully and it handles slope lift really well. And with flaps deployed, it lands slow and controlled. This is not a twitchy plane, it's a relaxing one. It's the kind of plane that makes you look up and just stay there longer. To me, the Craycle Soar proves something really important. A high-performance glider does not need to be expensive, complicated, or locked behind some special materials that you gotta custom order. This plane is fully printable in standard PLA, easy to build, affordable to equip, and genuinely rewarding to fly. Huge credit to Craycle for putting this much engineering into something this accessible. If you've ever wanted a proper glider without the hassle, this might be the one. Now, if you want more information, links are going to be in the description. Huge thanks to Craycle for partnering with us for this launch. And if you got more questions, feel free to drop them in the comments or contact Craycle directly about this plane. And also, if you want to purchase this plane yourself, we do have a coupon discount code that not only helps us, but it also helps you. If you use Inverted Aviators RC STL or Inverted Aviators RC Kit, you will get a nice discount on both the STL files and the kit. And not only does it save you money, but it also helps us and helps the channel. And it's really nice to give that kickback and help the community out, just like the community has helped us. So if you like this plane so far, make sure to check out Craycle's channel as well as all the other videos that were participating in this launch, because we are super excited to see how this thing does over time. It's always fun to get new planes, new gliders, new content. We're really excited and really thankful for Craycle for reaching out to us and saying, hey, do you want to participate? Because we absolutely do. So thank you so much for watching. This has been Inverted Aviators RC, and make sure to check out all of our other content to see the kind of FPV flying we were talking about, as well as the 3D printed plane stuff, which is again really cool. And also, we've got new merch, so if you want a shirt or a mug or anything else in between, we've got a shop that's open, so feel free to check out the shop if you want to help support the channel in other ways. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. This has been Inverted Aviators RC.